I'm Royce from AgriGrand, and we sent the same soil to different soil test labs, and we're going to compare the results with each other. We look at every measurement and we compare it for each different lab. Let's go for pH first. It looks like West Virginia didn't report any values because they didn't get back to us with the results, even though we sent in the soil sample, and after multiple calls, no one was able to give us the soil test results. So they're going to fail automatically here. Logan Labs, Penn State, Rutgers, and Ward Labs, they all sent us the soil test results back. It looks like everybody was really close on the pH measurement, which I was happy to see. Next up is CEC, or cation exchange capacity. This measures the amount of minerals that could fit into the soil. It looks like everybody is fairly close. The average is 12 CEC. Rutgers seems to be the highest, and Logan Labs seems to be the lowest. I'm going to choose the lower value. I'm going to choose Logan Labs because I don't want to over apply any amendments. Next up is our EC, or electrical conductivity. And the only lab that measured this one was Ward Labs. And this is all for the standard soil test package. And I was very impressed that Ward Labs was able to tell us an electrical conductivity measurement, which is really just measuring soluble salts. And that's very important to know, especially for folks that get their water from the ground that they use to irrigate crops with, especially in regions west of the Rocky Mountains. A lot of the groundwater there may contain high levels of sodium or other minerals, and we would like to know so that we don't accidentally get a buildup of those in the soil. Next up, hydrogen base saturation percentage. This is a calculation, and it looks like Logan Labs and Ward Labs both represented that. Penn State and Rutgers didn't represent it. For the calcium measurements, it looks like there was quite a wide range here. The average was 1,490 ppm. Again, Logan Labs reported a low value. Ward Labs also reported a lower value, and Penn State and Rutgers reported higher values. Again, let's go ahead and let's just choose the lower numbers. I'm going to choose the Logan Labs here just because they have the lower CEC, and maybe I'm going to go with their calcium measurement also. Next up is magnesium. Again, all the labs reported that back to us, which is nice. It's a major cation, which is a positively charged ion in the soil. And all the values were, again, pretty close here. In terms of potassium, all the labs had reported that value. They're pretty close. Next up, this is important, sodium. I think it's important to know how much sodium is in the soil. Too much is a bad thing. Of course, you want some in there. Some crops especially depend on sodium in the soil. However, I noted that Penn State and Rutgers did not tell us a level for sodium in the soil. Logan Labs and Ward Labs did. So this is kind of a deal breaker for me. I would like to know the sodium level, especially in garden soil where I've been applying lots of organic amendments that may contain sodium. I'd like to know if I'm accidentally building up my sodium levels. And I'm pleased to see that both Logan and Ward Labs reported a very similar number. Moving on to phosphorus. For this one, I noticed that, yes, the labs also gave similar test results back. Good job there. Next up is our sulfur amount. And there was a little bit of confusion with the Ward Labs figure. I highlighted that. It says 11.9, and all of the other figures are pretty close to 20. What I'm thinking is that Ward Labs maybe represents their figures a little bit different. I'm not sure why that difference is so large. That would be something that I would like to ask Ward Labs about in the future. But all the other numbers are pretty close, and you definitely need to know your sulfur level in the soil. Your plants will not do well without it. Next up is chlorine, and I would like to know the chlorine level. However, it's not available on any basic soil test package, and none of the labs have it. So I can't decrease anybody's rating because of this missing chlorine level. Next up is boron, and here's another deal breaker. It looks like Logan Labs and Rutgers report the boron level, but Ward Labs and Penn State do not. And this is one of those micronutrients that's very important because it helps calcium get into the plant. If there's not enough boron, even if the soil has technically enough calcium, the calcium won't make it into the plant effectively. So we need enough boron in the soil. And if the lab doesn't report this on their standard soil test package, it's worth paying for it, at least one out of every few years. So for this one, Logan Labs, big plus for them for actually reporting this value, and Rutgers. However, the numbers are a little bit different. So not sure which one to believe here. Again, I've used Logan Labs in the past here, so I'm going to go with their measurement. This is where we should talk about the pricing here too, because Penn State and Rutgers, even though they don't report the boron level, they are the cheaper soil tests, especially Penn State. They're at $15 for the standard soil test. And Logan is at $27 for the same test. And really, the big difference there is the amount of data that we're going to get. So really, on like a dollar per dollar kind of measurement here for the comparison between soil labs, I think, Logan Labs is a pretty good deal, and so is Penn State, and so is Rutgers. We just get a little bit less information with Penn State and Rutgers. Now, moving on from there to the iron level, again, we're only getting this data from Logan Labs, Rutgers, and Ward Labs. Penn State does not report this, not surprisingly, because they are the cheapest soil test out there. The values for iron, again, vary widely here. Not sure which one to believe. I would pick Logan Labs here, since I've used them before and I have some familiarity with them. Again, manganese is another micronutrient that's quite important here. The only lab that's missing that data is Penn State, so I have to kind of derate them a little bit for that. Again, Ward Labs is giving us a very small number here, but Rutgers and Logan Labs are fairly close on that. Next up, we have a zinc measurement, and that's wonderful that all the labs do tell us a zinc number. Oddly enough, Ward Labs is giving us a pretty low number for zinc. Next up is copper, and all the labs give us copper, which is great. They're all pretty close except for Ward Labs. Next up is the organic matter measurement, and Logan Labs, Penn State, and Ward Labs all have measurements. The variance is quite a bit here. Rutgers does not have that data here because you have to pay extra for it. And then we get various other measurements that are given on these soil tests. I would say that they're not essential, but moving down to the soil test cost. Penn State, I don't want to be too harsh on Penn State because they are the cheapest soil test. Logan Labs was the most expensive, but we do get a ton of data with Logan Labs also. And it seems that with the soil tests market space, you really have to pay for what you want here. If you want more complete measurements on your soil, then you're going to pay more for it. Now for the final rating, we are going to rate Logan Labs as superior. That's the best here. I do wish that their standard soil test had measured electrical conductivity like Ward Labs did. I was very impressed that the soluble salts measurement, which is the EC, is actually measured there in the standard sample. That would be really nice if Logan Labs also had that, especially because they are the highest priced. But at the same time, Ward Labs, I wish they had a boron figure. That's really the only one that makes me not want to order from Ward Labs. However, it should be noted that for just a few more dollars, you could pay for the boron to be sampled from Ward Labs, and you would be getting a great deal on that. So a +1. Anyway, Ward Labs gets an A, and then we're going to rate Rutgers next as getting a B, and then Penn State, we're getting a C for them. But don't be too upset with Penn State here. Again, you get what you pay for with these soil tests.